Hello and welcome to Craft with Sarah and day 3 of the Halloween Craft Countdown, where I'm sharing 20 Halloween-themed Cricut projects in 20 days. 10 of the projects are designed by me and 10 are guest designer projects from some of my crafting friends. Today it's another one of my projects, and this time it's this beautiful witch paper craft. There are lots of layers to her dress, which gives a lovely 3D effect, and I love the sparkle of using gold for some of the details. The files for this project are free for the next 24 hours. Here's how to download them. Register a free ticket for the Halloween Craft Countdown at craftwithsarah.com/HCC23. If you're already registered, check for an email from me with subject line Halloween Craft Countdown ticket information, or any of the other emails from me that you've been sent throughout the countdown. Can't find them? Check your junk or spam box to see if they've gone there by mistake. These emails contain the link to view the countdown projects and download today's files. Scroll down this page to find today's project. Click the button to start the files automatically downloading to your computer or mobile device. Each download is only available for free for 24 hours after it goes live. If you've missed some, check out the Instant Access Bundle at craftwithsarah.com/HCC23 bundle, which gives immediate and ongoing access to all of the files from the Halloween Craft Countdown, plus loads of extra bonus designs. All downloads come in zip folders. You will need to unzip them before you can upload the files into Cricut Design Space. Once you've downloaded and unzipped the folder, it's time to get the SVG file into Cricut Design Space. Open up Design Space, start a new project, and then get into Upload over on the left, and then Upload Image. You can then either click Browse to find the file on your computer or drag and drop it in. Make sure you choose the unzipped version of the folder, and then the file to choose is the one which starts SVG in the file name. Click and drag that in, and it should look like this with all of the layers one on top of the other. If yours looks different and you see all the pieces next to each other instead, that means you've accidentally uploaded the wrong file type. So if that's the case, press Cancel down on the bottom right, try again, and make sure you choose the one which starts SVG. This one's looking good, so I'll click on Upload. And now it's appeared in my recent uploads, which means I can click it to get the green border and then press Add to Canvas. You can see all of the little pieces have been split out on the right-hand side in the Layers panel. This is quite a complex design with lots of detail in the mandala patterns of the dress, so I recommend cutting it quite big. The little details in the face can also be quite difficult to cut if you were to make it too small. So I reckon probably no smaller than about 6.5 inches tall. To resize, make sure the padlock icon at the top of the width and the height box is closed, and then you can type either the width or the height in, press enter, and the other measurement will change in proportion. I am actually going to cut mine quite big though, so let's go 7 inches, maybe a little bit smaller. We'll go 6.75 just to make sure it's going to fit on my A4 paper. And that's it, all ready for her to be cut out. Now, one thing I will just do before I go and show you that is if you wanted to make this design a little bit simpler, if you're finding that your cardstock is tearing or you just don't want to have as many pieces, what you can do is look down the Layers panel down here, find all of the black layers of the dress, hover your mouse over them and click the eye icon to hide them. So this just takes out some of those details, and this will also enable you to cut it smaller, although you may still struggle a little bit with the face. But I am going to do her with all the layers, so let's turn those back on and then go to Make It over on the top right. You can see for the moon I'm only going to need the tiniest little bit of white card, so this is definitely going to be one to use my scraps up. And then for the other colours I'll need some more of those ones. You can change the paper size in the drop down here. I'm using A4, and you might find when you do that it splits it onto more sheets so that because this is smaller than 12 by 12. You can click and drag by moving things about to see if it will take up less space. And I'm wondering, I don't think I can. I was wondering if I could fit 2 of those bits on the same mat, but I think it is going to be too big, even if I turn it upside down. If you want to try that though, you can, so I'll give it a go, but I don't think it's going to work. To move things to a different mat, click the 3 little dots and then move object. Make sure you choose the same colour of mat, so I use this middle black one, and press confirm. And now this is moved and I can rotate it to try and get them to fit, but I think it's just slightly too big. It's not quite going to work. So let's move that back to where it was, which was this 3rd sheet. Never mind, I tried. Alright, so when you've finished changing all the paper sizes and getting everything moved to where you want it to go, press continue to connect to your Cricut machine and follow the on-screen instructions to get everything cut out from cardstock. Then we'll see how to stick it all together. Here are all the layers of my witch cut out, and I've laid them one on top the other to check that I'm happy with all the colours and that I haven't accidentally missed anything. I'm going to be sticking her together with a combination of glue and foam squares. The glue I like to use is called Collall, and the reason I like it is because it doesn't bend or wrinkle the cardstock like some other glues can do. Another great glue to use if you are outside the UK is Bearly Art glue, but I can't get that here, sadly. I put it into these needle tip applicator bottles to make it easier to put into the small pieces in the cardstock design. The foam squares I'm using are from Dot and Dab, but any brand will do. These ones are quite small, which is going to be very helpful, but if yours are bigger, then don't worry, they can be cut smaller with a pair of scissors. As with all my layered designs, we need to start at the bottom and work our way upwards. The download folder that you got with the SVG file contains an assembly guide PDF. I recommend printing that out and keeping that next to you as you craft, as that will show you the order everything goes in. Alright, so I need to move these bits apart. I'm going to try and keep some sort of order as I'm separating it all out. Okay, now I'm down to my very bottom 3 layers, which is the gold at the very bottom, then a blue, and then the black that shows the detail. And we'll start, if I can pick it up, with the blue one and the gold. The gold I've used is a really, really shiny metallic brushed metal gold cardstock. It is very pretty and I think it adds a great Halloween vibe, but it is really reflective, so apologies that you can see my camera in there. It'll be covered up soon mostly. Alright, so first I'm going to glue on this layer of the dress. I'm not quite sure how I managed it when I cut this design, but a lot of the card I managed to cut upside down, so I'm actually gluing on the really pretty, linen effect side of the card, and then it's all going to be ruined when I turn it over and just see the back. But never mind. Serves me right for not being careful enough when I was cutting. Alright, so that goes on there. Then you've just got a little bit of that gold poking out the bottom. There. And then next is another glue layer, which is this one to go on the bottom, and it just shows all that pattern in the skirt. Now I can glue this bit on top. There's a little fly buzzing around me at the moment, so I'm really sorry if you could see it in the camera shot. It's a very hot day when I'm actually recording this, so I've got the windows open. Alright, so there's that one, and if I lift it up to the camera a bit more, you can see how pretty that is. Ooh, got a bit of glue smushing out there. I'm just going to wipe that with my finger. There we go. Next, we're on to the next level of the dress, which means back to the gold. Only this time, to add some dimension, I used my foam squares. As I said at the beginning, if yours are big, then you can always cut them smaller with scissors if you need to. But this one's quite a big piece, so you should be okay. Make sure you put your foam in all of the little sticky out places. For example, the hat and the hands. And then you also want to put a good amount into the middle of the dress, because if you didn't put anything down the very middle, it means it's got nothing to support it there. So your card might sort of bend downwards a little bit under the weight of itself and the weight of all the other layers we're going to be putting on top. Now that those are on there, I can peel the tops off to reveal the stickiness underneath. Line this up, and I'm going to use the hat at the top and the arms to know where to put it. The trick for layering on designs with the foam squares is to just kind of get it lined up and then gently drop it down to start with. And that means if you haven't quite got it in the right place, you can pick it up and move it because it hasn't actually stuck yet. So I'm just maneuvering that into position. And then that looks pretty good to me, so I can push down to seal. We've now got 2 more layers of the dress. There's the purple and then the black bit to go on top. These, again, will both be glue layers, just like how we did the bottom section. Right, that's the second layer of her dress done. Onto the final layer, and it's going to go together exactly the same way. So I'll start with the gold, which will be a foam square layer. Alright, so I'm going to get this one roughly in place. Quite a tall design, so I've pulled it onto an angle so it's a little closer to me. There. Off a little bit. There we go. Push down to seal. And then the next blue layer and then the black to go on top of the pattern are both glue layers. Here's another bit of that blue that I cut the wrong way up. For this layer, because the little pieces are so thin, I'm going to put it down really carefully so that I'm going to try and not get the glue kind of smushing out into any of the gaps. So I just push down so gently to get it to stick without that glue becoming visible. There. This has already got a lot of dimension in it, but we're going to add even more, moving on to the face. First up, let's separate out the layers so we can see everything we've got. I realise I'm putting those out of shot, so that actually wasn't very helpful for you, but at least I can see them. Alright, so the first one, this is another card that I've cut upside down because it's got the nice texture on that side. But this is going to make up her neck. So this one I think would be nice as a glue layer. I'm trying not to make it too thick along the head. Oops. Otherwise it will look too far away from this bit, the underside of her hat. That one there. Then next is the back of her hair, which is going to be a foam square layer. Give her hair a little bit of pop from the rest of everything. I'm not even going to try and get my foam in those little bits of the hat. You can if you're feeling brave. It would look better if they were stuck, but that's very thin. Okay, that's that one. And then next is her face. And before we glue this, there are a couple of tiny little rectangles to be stuck to the back of this layer to cover her eyes and nose. I'm just going to add some glue there and then pick these up and add these over the top. And then the whole layer will be glued. So I can add my glue here. It will show through the pink of the hair as her lipstick. But if you were cutting the hair a different colour, you could always just cut a little scrap of red or pink to stick behind the hole in the mouth if you wanted to give her a different colour of lip. Okay, next is the front of her hair. And I'm torn on this one. Whether to foam it or glue it. I think just glue it because this is very thick already. But this is one that's a bit optional, so you can choose. And there we go. And then we've got the final layer of the hat colour. Well, not quite final. There's still a couple of little bits to go on top, but this is the last kind of big bit. Put that on there. There we go. Lovely. Now we've got two extra bits, a little gold rim for the hat and a white moon to stick on top. Start with this one. Can't remember which way up this is supposed to go, so I'm hoping this is right. I think it is. And then for the moon, I'll just add a bit of glue straight on there. And careful, careful, this is a very tiny piece. Stick that on top. She's nearly finished now, she just needs some hands. And I will foam these, give them a little bit of pop from the rest of her sleeves. There we go. And then one on there. And the other, oops, this side. And that's our beautiful witch finish. See her hair and her face. There's so many details in here. And I actually had my hair dyed this colour a couple of Halloweens ago. If you look back through my YouTube video to the Halloween 2021 countdown, I had pink and purple hair just like that. So I really love this design. I've zoomed out a bit so you can see the whole effect of that beautiful dress. And hopefully you can see how the light catches on that gold. Give it a little bit of a spooky sparkle. And there are so many details in her dress. It's really pretty. And there we go. Our lovely Halloween witch is all finished. I hope you enjoyed this video on how to make this Halloween witch paper craft. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel for loads more Cricut crafts and Halloween fun. I hope to see you tomorrow for day 4 of the Halloween Craft Countdown. Don't forget, the link to get the cut files for this project is craftwithsarah.com/HCC23, but they are only free to download for 24 hours after this video goes live. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!